Alright, what's up everyone, and welcome to the Boyers YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be going over the gear I wore when I went on a Timbersled trip. If you haven't seen the video series, I'll go ahead and link that up at the top. And really just wanted to kind of go over what can you wear, what did I wear. It ended up working out perfectly. And just let you know, the review here is based off of, just my personal opinion. I wanted to balance gear that I already had and gear that I would use again. So is there better gear for riding in the snow? Absolutely. But I think this will give you kind of a cheaper way to do it if you already ride your motorcycle and have some of the gear. Go ahead and dive into the gear. So starting from the bottom and working the way to the top, as far as socks, I just simply wore the standard Moose Racing moto sock that I already had for riding dirt bikes. Then I had the correct boot that I think helped. My feet never once got cold, didn't really get too hot. It was kind of a happy medium. I did do a review on the boots before riding on my 1290 preparing for this trip, and I'll link that as well. But I wore the Climb Gtx Boots, and they were perfect. Like I said, all I had to do was wear one single moto sock, nothing special there, and then those boots, and they kept me plenty warm, gave me great ankle support, felt super safe, and was warm the entire time. As you can see, they are a little muddy. I've been using them for everything, and once again, I kind of go back to the point of, could I have gotten a better snowmobile boot? Absolutely. Could I got one with a little bit better support? Absolutely. But I wanted to find a boot that, one, I could use when I'm riding in cold weather on my 1290. Also, I've been wearing this boot every single day. We've been getting a little bit of snow here in Maryland and shoveling snow, walking around. You can drive your vehicle with these boots. They're not too bulky where you can't feel the pedals in your truck or car. And overall, could not be happier with these boots. For the price point, I believe they're under $200, and it's an everyday boot for me here in the winter, and also able to ride my 1290, and they work perfectly for these Timbersleds. Alright, so as far as the pants layer, I just, for my base layer, I just had some weatherproof spandex that I put on. Then over top of that, I have some Carhartt pants with a liner. This could go one way or another because they don't wick the sweat away, but honestly I stayed that kind of perfect temperature where I didn't sweat a ton. But I'm sure you might want a different type of pants, as they could trap in moisture, but worked out great for me. And then on top of that was where my Climb gear comes into play. It's gear that I already have. Yes, it's pricey, but to me, I never look at the weather anymore when I'm riding my street bike. And I was a little worried going on this trip as I don't have the super thick snowmobile style Climb gear. Once again, perfect temperature, kept the water, the snow off, and never had any issues with warmth or getting wet. So I just have the Climb over the top Torrent pants, nothing special, not a bunch of thickness where they'll keep you warm, but that's also why I wore the Carhartts and the spandex underneath. It was more for just keeping the moisture off and blocking the wind. Worked perfectly. Alright, so now moving up to the body area, I wore an Under Armour shirt that I've had that I normally wear when I'm riding dirt bikes in the cold weather. Over top that, I just have your basic white thermal, and then on top of that I just had kind of a Nike t-shirt that I wore. Alright, then over top of that t-shirt I did have just a Climb jacket. And big shout out to Mario for that fleece. It tremendously helps. It's something that I wear anytime I'm on my 1290 street bike and it's a little bit chillier out. It's a good combination with the Carlsbad jacket. And then on top of that was obviously my Climb jacket that I also just wear as my everyday motorcycle jacket. And that is the Climb Carlsbad. Worked great. Stayed warm with wearing those. I'm probably going to butcher this next thing, but I wore a Climb balaclava, and just one of the thinner ones. It worked great with my helmet, and just keeps the snow off of your back, and kept my face warm. You definitely needed that because in the higher speed sections I could really feel my face getting cold, and I was able to move that upper or down based off of the temperature on how my face was feeling. Then on top of that, I just had my normal dirt bike helmet, my Arai helmet, and once again with that balaclava and the helmet, had stayed warm, no issues there. As far as goggles, I did go out and use my basic goggles that I always do, but I got a dual pane lens. That is super important because if not, it's just going to fog up and you can't see, and it's so important out there to make sure that you have good vision. All right, as far as gloves, this is another, I think, a great secret. It's one, super cheap, and I know a lot of climb products aren't cheap, but they're great quality. I got the Underliner Gloves, the 1.0, and they were huge. Mario suggested them, and I'm so happy I got them. So when I did take off my bigger gloves, one, you're able to use your phone, quickly take pictures, your hands still stay warm. So I've been using them just for personal use now. They're a great glove, not too bulky, and they keep the chill off your hands. Over top that, I did bring my climb gloves that I reviewed in that video, but I was a little worried on them not coming up high enough and that snow kind of sneaking down. So I just borrowed some everyday snowmobile gloves from Mario, and they worked out tremendous with those climb underlayer gloves. No complaints there. So I think that wraps up all the gear that I wore. Once again, I know there's better gear out there. I know there's more complete sets, but I really just wanted to balance what I have and what I would use again. And every single thing that I talked about is something that I'll use, whenever I'm on my street bike and it's cold, or just every day out in the cold weather. I do recommend every product that I talked about. It worked for me. But if you have any other suggestions or questions, please leave a comment below. Make sure you hit that like button and that subscribe button. Thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you all next time.